Hey, this is C&D Channel. I'm Chris. This is Tony, and this is MMA for You. We're going to be doing our post-fight analysis for UFC 160.
Couldn't keep your face on that, could you?
Overall, there weren't too many finishes on the card. The main card actually got a good amount of finishes. The undercard didn't get too many, though. Overall, I thought it was a good card, a little above average. I'd give it a B. You know, the divisional relevance was there. The fights themselves, some went from like really good to just good. Some were just okay. What did you think of what you saw, Tony?
I thought it was a really fun card. Everything delivered. This was a stacked show. Lately,
Stacked though, yeah.
Yeah, lately we've been seeing the card been kind of thin on a lot of these friggin' FX or fuel shows, or even the pay-per-views. And this is the last friggin' show since I think maybe like the Fox card. This has been really stacked from beginning of the pay-per-view to the end of the pay-per-view.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I hear what you mean, yeah.
And a lot of title eliminators and just, a lot of guys coming up the ranks.
Yeah. Divisional relevance, this card has it.
Yeah.
It's just there.
This is the card to watch. To see where they're going as far as future contenders go.
Yeah, exactly. So, let's get started, though, man. Okay, champion Cain Velasquez takes the title against Antonio Bigfoot Silva by TKO. I mean, kind of expected, but any further thoughts on this?
He smoked Bigfoot!
1 minute and 21 seconds in the first round.
Yikes!
It was shorter than when he bloodied him.
He took a chainsaw to his face.
I know, yeah. I mean, I like Bigfoot, but, quite honestly, Velasquez is a much better wrestler and a much better striker.
I think it was you that said he's freaking better than Silva in every single department.
Yeah, except for pure Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's it. But even then, it doesn't mean too much. Antonio Silva, he's stuck in upper mid-tier purgatory now. He's not gonna fight Cain Velasquez.
Well, this is what we all thought he'd be. I mean, those two fights, no one, I think, ever gave him the chance. But let's be honest, I mean, he kind of lucked into both of those wins back to back.
Yeah, the Travis Brown with the leg injury.
His foot, and then Alistair Overeem just freaking getting way too cocky and just begging to be knocked out.
Yeah, exactly. Because the problem with those fights is it doesn't give you an idea of what Antonio Silva's skills were, more so than he hits hard.
Yeah, well, he did stuff too, those takedowns early in the fight.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, that was actually good, but he's just not as quick as Velasquez.
That's Bigfoot's gimmick. He's a slow guy.
Yeah, exactly. But obviously this fight sucks. Cain Velasquez versus Junior Dos Santos. I mean, the only other guy that's in title contention would be Verdum if he beats Nogueira. I mean, seriously, we need Josh Burnett to come along. I think he'd lose, but he still needs to come along. Definitely. Daniel Cormier is not going to fight Cain Velasquez, and he looks like he's coming to 205 very slowly. So, it looks like Junior Dos Santos, Cain Velasquez number 3. From what it sounds like with you.
Like you said, I think I'm the only one that's not down on it, so take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah, well, anything. At least with Junior Dos Santos, he is a quick guy. He does have good take. Stylistically, they're good for each other. Mm-hmm. It's the only fight that makes sense anyway. So
you could try doing Verdum, but I don't know when that fight's supposed to be. And just hard to know when those two are going to line up. This was perfect because they were both on the same card back to back. Yeah. And they both, it wouldn't be too hard to try to make that happen. Exactly.
And that's something that the UFC's been doing lately with, George St. Pierre and then Johnny Hendricks was on.
Yeah, on the same
card. Yeah, exactly. And stuff like that. And I like that they do that, And I guess that goes to the next fight. Junior Dos Santos beat Mark Hunt by knockout, spinning kick, and a follow-up punches. Yeah, I know. The Super Samoan loss. Did you think he redeemed himself well, though?
Up until the knockout, I thought he was doing fine. He was just getting outclassed. He was getting athleticized by, if that even is a word, by Junior Dos Santos because he had that distance. He kept jabbing him to death. And the fact of the matter is, he's just in better shape than freaking Hunt.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, freaking I think even by the second round, Hunt was sucking down wind.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, credit Hunt for taking overhand rights over and over and just getting dropped by one in the first round and roll doing break dancing to get back up. You know what I mean? I mean, credit Hunt for his chin, but like what my buddies were saying too, that spinning kick, I don't know if it hit him hard, but I think it's just the accumulation.
Yeah.
He got a really tough big left hook. He took a really big left hook and some follow-up punches already. But what do you think of the spinning kick phenomenon that's going on?
Kick, yeah.
I mean, Edson Barboza started it off, then Vitor, now Junior. What's going on?
It's the 2013 front kick.
Everyone's
doing it now.
You know what though? I mean, it works. I mean,
can't argue with results.
And quite honestly, the way, unless you get taken down, a lot of times when someone even just throws a roundhouse, they'll go back, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you throw the spinning kick, the guy's already way back here. You know what I mean? So it's like, it is a high risk move, especially if you get taken down or countered. If the guy stays where he is or he ducks under it or something, but at the same time, I think there's room for it in MMA for sure, and it shows. Mark Hunt is his last. You gotta be honest here. 39 years old. Cinderella story kind of came to an end. I'm sorry to say, I know, but that's not to say that there are not fun. Because there are definitely fun fights for him.
Oh yeah, and like I said, the heavyweight division isn't so wrestler heavy, so you gotta imagine Hunt's gonna get himself back in there in the title picture.
Yeah,
or at least on the cusp of a title shot.
Maybe.
You think? Well, just look at the friggin' heavyweight division. It's like, most of those fights, at least Mark Hunt has got a fighting chance.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if he fought Roy Nelson, I actually favor Mark Hunt to beat
we were booking that. We were thinking, why not just do it? Just the ultimate fat man fight.
Yeah.
And I think even I was proposing. I don't know if many of you guys will agree with me, but it'd be awesome if you could freaking hook up Bigfoot with freaking Steven Stroop.
Yeah.
the skyscraper versus the Bigfoot.
Yeah, man, that's
straight out of a Godzilla movie.
Well, you got the big country versus the super Samoan, But yeah, win or lose, Nelson fights Stipe Miocic. I would like to see Nelson Hunt. I think that's just a cool fight, to be perfectly honest with you. Or Hunt versus Bigfoot would be pretty cool too.
Actually, that'd be good too.
Yeah.
Again, another fight that Mark Hunt has more than just a fighting chance in.
Exactly. So still good fights and like top fights for him. Title aspirations, it's tough to say. I think he'll hit a wall on his way up. That's the problem, but we'll see.
Aside from maybe a Cormier, other than that, I can't think of anybody else that can.
Verdum maybe because the ground.
Yeah, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is not wrestling, but yeah, I can see what you're saying.
Yeah,
I can still see Mark Hunt giving him fits.
Yeah.
On the stand.
Josh Barnett, because he's already lost to Josh Barnett.
Yeah.
Wrestler.
But then also Mark Hunt's also improved, and you never know.
You never know. And he always has, that one punch knockout.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, next fight after that, we got Glover Teixeira beating James Tehuna by guillotine choke in the first round. It was the only submission of the night. So
safe to say it's submission of the night.
Yeah, and safe to say with the Junior Dos Santos, it's probably KO of the night. I mean, it's a spinning kick KO. Come on. There are other cool, I thought TJ Grant was going to get it, actually. But we'll get to that after this. But Glover Teixeira, when you think of the he's not new blood. He's been in the fight game forever. But
as far as the UFC.
In the UFC, Glover Teixeira, Phil Davis, Alexander Gustafsson. And then James Tehuna and Ryan Bader are kind of on that fringe area. But these other guys, these three are the guys that look like they're primed to fight John Jones.
Yeah.
Give me your thoughts. Glover Teixeira versus Machida. Maybe the winner of Evans Hendo. The winner of Shogun versus Nogueira. What do you think? Like
I said, Jones has already said, I think in public, that he wants to fight Gustafsson. And just with the kind of pull that freaking John Jones has, and no offense to Machida, that last win didn't exactly win a lot of people over.
Yeah, exactly.
So I gotta imagine Glover's on that cusp of a title shot too. So I imagine, I figure a Lyoto fight would be good because if you can knock off Lyoto, he's definitely earned a title shot. But at the same time,
that's a dangerous fight for him. I don't think they'll give him Lyoto. Lyoto's just that guy that if you want to title shot, let's kind of avoid Machida, for the new prospects. You know what I mean? And also, I think they're friends. But I can maybe see him getting the winner of Evans versus Dan Henderson. What do you think?
Yeah, I can see why not. If they're trying to protect Glover and they're trying to make him into a star, that's definitely the route to go. But if they're trying to groom this guy for a title shot, I'd preferably go toward the Machida. But like you said, it's a kind of a lose-lose situation because Machida not the most exciting fighter, but at the same time, that's really John Jones' biggest threat in the entire division. Yeah. Just having to put him against Glover would be kind of the ultimate test.
Yeah, exactly.
Because really, if you're UFC, God bless Machida, you really don't want to give him another title shot.
Yeah. Machida's one of my favorite fighters, but and I think on merit, Machida's probably earned it. I just don't think he'd beat John Jones.
You give him fit still.
Yes.
But he, like I said, just that his ground game is just way.
Yeah, and his size. Machida can make middleweight. You know what I mean? But with sucks for James Cejudo because he was coming up. He was on a good win streak. He's kind of shown that he can beat the mid tiers of the division. I'd like to see him maybe get a Bader. Maybe the winner or loser of Thiago Silva versus Rafael Feijoa or something like that.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah. Actually, hey.
I'm just not hearing that fight. I'm getting excited. Woo.
Yeah. Actually, Glover Teixeira versus the winner of Feijoa versus Thiago Silva would be pretty good too.
Yeah.
So yeah, nice fights there. Well, we know TJ Grant is supposed to get Ben Henderson as he beat Gray Maynard in the first round.
He destroyed the man.
Man, TJ Grant is one of the most underrated guys, but I think after this fight, people will not think he's so underrated.
Oh no, yeah. This is a freaking coming out party for the people like me who have not really heard of TJ Grant.
Yeah, this guy used to fight at welterweight and did moderately well, but ultimately lost a couple against Almeida and Stun Gun. But, he went to 155, and he's just a killer. This guy, he's a guy I've always been high on. I picked Maynard to win. I thought he'd wrestle him more.
I thought they both wrestled each other more, but straight out the gate, Maynard was freaking throwing bombs.
Yeah, I know, man. I don't know if he had something to prove or what. But
the last 3 fights, we haven't seen a ton of wrestling out of him.
Yeah.
The 2 Frankie fights and then the fight with Clay.
Did he just forsake? Is he one of those guys that forsaked his wrestling?
I think he just knows his skills are there, and he just figures he should just add more to the toolbox.
Yeah,
he definitely has the power. Especially with those Frankie fights. He had a freaking flying around the octagon like a pinball.
Yeah, no, but TJ Grant, he's got a really good chin. Because he took some of these things like a champ. And man, can he dish it out too, bro? This guy
he dropped Gray a couple of times.
3 times, man.
God bless Gray for keep coming, but man, this man's on a mission.
TJ Grant, his knees and his overall inside game. In this last fight, he actually knocked out Matt Wyman with standing elbows.
Yikes!
Yeah, this guy is a killer. His ground game is actually really good. He has a really good scramble game. And he's good off his back. Interesting against Benson Henderson.
Oh yeah, the guy's got a great ground game, and he's a freaking awesome striker. So that's, it's going to be kind of hard to sell because I think we were talking about it on when both guys were making their way to the freaking octagon. It's the battle of the generic freaking boring white guys.
Yeah. TJ Grant, he's one of the more soft-spoken guys. Thankfully, what we were saying is that he did mention that, a lot of guys will say,
I'll give you whoever the UFC puts in front of me, and blah, 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 blah.
That's not a soundbite, guys, fighters, A soundbite is, give me Benson. He said it,
Everyone needs to be calling Benson.
Yeah.
I don't care if they're on a 2-fight losing streak. Call out Benson when you get a win.
But no, it was good he called him out. Benson Henderson is a staple on the Fox card. Same with Demetrius Johnson. I can see them doing TJ Grant, Benson Henderson on a Fox card.
I think you were making fun of TJ Grant looking like a freaking 40-year-old or invalid.
Dude, the guy's like 28, 29. I'm actually 30 years old. People don't know that, but dude, that guy looks way older than me. I mean, seriously, it's the receding hairline and whatnot.
The beard
and whatnot. I love the guy. I like the guy a lot. I've been high on this guy for a while. Like I said, one thing when he fights Benson Henderson, if Benson utilizes his wrestling, I think he'll be able to take Grant down. I don't know if he'll be able to hold him down though.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why it becomes a really interesting fight. Because TJ Grant in the stand-up. The problem with Benson Henderson though is the judges love his style.
Yeah.
There's something about Benson Henderson when he throws a kick.
Well, it's flashy.
Yeah, I guess it is because like he keeps narrowing getting these decisions.
Especially that second Frankie fight.
Yeah, and it's like there's something about his offense that just looks really good with the judges.
And people are still saying Melendez deserves a rematch, and you and I both agree. We watched that fight and we thought, no. I mean, it was a close fight, but there's no way there was any doubt that Benson won that fight.
I don't know. No, I mean, like I think like I said, Melendez round one, but all the other rounds after that, I mean,
solidly Benson.
Well, not solidly.
Maybe the second round, but rounds 3, 4, and 5. Well, at least everyone can remember.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember it being solidly. They were close, but I gave it to Benson Henderson nonetheless. Yeah. 3 rounds to 2. TJ Grant's a different animal. And this is actually a very weird dilemma with the UFC then. Benson Henderson isn't much of a draw for the UFC. That's why they relegated him.
And that's not going to help with TJ Grant.
That's the weird thing. That's why you'd think maybe you'd give it to Melendez. He's a little more...
or Josh Thompson.
Or Josh Thompson, yeah. Because those two have a little more charisma, have something of a fan base, and whatnot. TJ Grant, I love the guy, but, he's not the most charismatic guy. He's not gonna draw pay-per-views. I like the guy a lot. I hold him in very high regard. But yeah, and I think he actually has a chance in beating Benson Henderson.
Oh yeah.
To be honest, like a legit chance. But yeah, well, I guess we'll see how it goes. With Gray Maynard, he had that stinker of a fight against Clay Guida, but still won.
That's not Gray's fault though.
Yeah, not Gray's fault.
Normally you think that if you're not seen the fight and someone told you a boring Gray Maynard fight, you'd be like, oh well, he just took down Clay, right? Nope.
Exactly. But I don't know where he goes from here because he's still one of the top guys on lightweight, but I think he should get more top 10 lightweights. It's just he needs something of a rebuilding or something like that.
Yeah, I can't even imagine who you give him from here on in. That's just.
Yeah. Let me think.
Maybe Melendez, maybe? I don't know.
Melendez would be pretty cool. He already fought Nate Diaz. Maybe a Rafael Dos Anjos or an Evan Dunham. Or something like that. Okay, next fight on the main card, we had Donald Cerrone beating KJ Nunes by unanimous decision. Wow, one of the scorecards was 30-26. We kind of, I
didn't think it was that friggin' lopsided.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that lopsided. But, I kind of expected a Cerrone win,
Well, yeah, this was frickin' Cerrone's fight to win.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, exactly. There isn't actually much to say about this. KJ gassed, he fought, he still fought through it, but he gassed out. He took some big hits. Delivered.
He gave some big hits.
Yeah, he gave some big hits, but overall...
It's clear that Cerrone has a bigger, toolbox than...
Oh, yeah, even the ground he dominated. Cerrone is that guy, he's like the guy that gets really high but can't beat the guy to get the title. He's like Michael Bisping.
In fact, I was telling you in the fight that if he would have done this to Nate Diaz, he definitely would have freaking won the fight.
Yeah, go for takedowns and whatnot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's... he lets the emotions get to him. Good one for him. I think he should just fight more top 10 guys, Thompson. would be cool.
That'd be fun.
Yeah,
that would be a fun fight.
That would be a fun fight or something like that. Okay. And the prelims, Mike Pyle beat Rick Story by a split decision. I missed most of this fight, but sucks for Rick Story. I thought he won the fight, actually, from what I saw. Mike Pyle is actually coming off with a, 4-fight win streak now? So he should definitely get a step up in competition, which is crazy because Mike Pyle's in his late 30s. Rick Story is, still in his 20s, but this is definitely not the loss that he needed. He needed to get back on track, and Pyle is generally a good gatekeeper to new young prospects. Roy McDonald, for example. Ellenberger is another guy he's fought. But, I guess Pyle, winner of Safadine versus Lawler or someone like that. There's other fights he can do there, too. Okay, next fight after that, Dennis Bermudez beat Max Holloway by split decision. If you actually saw this fight, Max Holloway is actually doing spinning stuff too. He actually hit Dennis Bermudez with a spinning back kick to his face.
Wow.
Yeah. I thought Holloway should have won. To be perfectly honest with you, I think Bermudez won. I don't think he was winning to stand up, and I think he won because he managed to get takedowns late in the round and dish out ground and pound. In the second round especially, I thought Holloway took that. Holloway got the first round, but good one for Bermudez here. He's on a win streak. This guy in every fight gets hit clean all the time and dropped. Just not all the time. It's his defense sucks, but the guy's a freaking pit bull and he's strong as hell. Max Holloway though is a special athlete. Dude's the youngest fighter in the UFC. He's only 21 years old.
Yikes.
He's a featherweight. He has some of the best composure I've seen for a 21-year-old UFC fighter. His striking's really good. He doesn't overextend himself. His takedown defense is solid as well. He's going places despite losing here. Bermudez, now that he's on the 4-fight win streak, should probably fight some people up there. I think, who's that featherweight that he can fight? Jeez. Maybe the winner of Dustin Poirier versus Eric Koch.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. The winner of Cub Swanson versus who else Cub Swanson fight? Dennis Seaver, maybe. That's kind of high up there, though. But he needs to step up in competition, nonetheless. Okay, next fight after that. I'm glad I picked this one. Robert Whittaker beat Colton Smith by TKO. Did you see this one? I know they replayed it, but...
Did they? I don't remember them re-showing this.
They re-showed it, but I think it was after the main event.
Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't catch that. I caught the George Root versus Brian Bowles. We'll talk about that when we get to it, but no, I didn't see this fight.
Oh, okay, it was pretty cool, because a lot of people hate Colton Smith. He's a grinder. And he wasn't able to grind, and every time he just charged forward, Rob Whittaker would make him pay. There's some questions if it's an early stoppage or not. I thought the main event actually was kind of an early stoppage. To be
that's what I was thinking too.
This fight, Colton Smith got up wobbly. I think that was a fine stoppage. Robert Whittaker, good takedown defense. Young guy, he's only in his early 20s. Good striking, really precise. Should just fight more lower to mid tier of the division, but he's a good fighter. He's a solid prospect. Colton Smith, I think he said he was going to cut down to 155. Maybe he should. He's a grinder. Not many people like the guy, but he is an Ultimate Fighter winner. He's very inexperienced. He charges in face first to try and get a takedown sometimes. Just more lower to mid tier of the division. Should he stay at 170 or 155? Okay, next fight out that Habib Nurmagomedov.
just bravo just for pronouncing that.
No, it's cool. I've actually said Nurmagomedov so many times.
Say it 3 times fast.
Nurmagomedov. Whew, that was really tough. Beat Abel Trujillo by unanimous decision. Nurmagomedov, he needs a step up in competition. This guy's sambo skills are awesome. This guy would ragdoll. Abel Trujillo is a big lightweight. Mm-hmm. He ragdolled the guy. I mean, seriously, he would just take him down at will, be like Lou, beat him up. When he was on his back, he almost won with a triangle choke. This guy's ground skills and grappling is really good. I was not sold on the guy before because his striking can be a bit reckless. But, man, he's huge for the weight class. His grappling skills are elite level. He needs to step up in competition. If you want to do Khabib versus Donald Cerrone, I wouldn't actually be opposed to that, to be honest with you. Like, that's how high I think he should go. Or maybe Khabib versus Rafael dos Anjos. I think he's a really good fighter. I'm finally sold on the guy. Yeah, give him a step up. The Eagle has landed, dude. That's his nickname, the Eagle. And he's undefeated, too, in lightweight. So that says a lot because lightweight's
no kidding.
The deepest division. He's like
it's the most stacked division.
Yeah, it's the most stacked division, and he's 17-0.
Whoa!
He's 17-0, 4-fight win streak, I think, over progressively better competition.
Wow.
Yeah, so the Eagle has landed. It is time to give him a step up in competition with Abel Killer Trujillo. He's just fight more lower to mid-tier guys. Nurmagomedov was too much for him at this time. Next one, I thought Stephen Thompson beating Sean Burrell by unanimous decision. Both these guys, quite honestly, did not look like they belonged in the UFC. It wasn't that bad. I mean, it was an okay fight. Some people hated it, but like there was something about it that did come off pretty low level. Sean Burrell had a strategy of like covering up like this, moving forward, but like just recklessly coming forward, so he's not into Stephen Thompson's kicking range. Stephen Thompson gassed around the third round. He didn't look like he had much cardio. Sean Burrell couldn't really do anything about it. Stephen Thompson was trying out his new wrestling skills. He made improvements there, but otherwise they didn't look great, you know. But you know, both these guys, you know, they didn't look very good. They both looked very lower tier, in my opinion. You know, some people will probably argue with me about like, what are you talking about? What are you dissing Stephen Thompson and Sean Burrell? It's like, dude, sorry, I just seen the fight. I thought they didn't look that great, to be perfectly honest with you. Just more lower to mid tier guys for both these. Okay, next one at that, George Root beat former WEC bantamweight champion Brian Bowles by TKO in the second round. Any thoughts on this fight, man?
It's a fun fight. I mean, no matter how you measure it, this was a fun fight. I mean, just straight out the gate, the guys were just freaking going out there. It was a freaking slobber knocker. I mean, just from the first round, and just Brian Bowles went out there and just freaking smoked George Root.
Yeah, he tried to. And I love how his corner told him like, "Oh yeah, he didn't stand around." Of course, he dropped him.
I figured he would this corner was completely full of it. Because just after getting dropped and then just freaking guillotined, it's like, there's no freaking way that come second round that anything's going to change. And you know, if anything, this is a testament to freaking Brian Bowles, because he's been out for like freaking 18 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, I gotta wonder what happened if Brian Bowles. I gotta wonder how much that played into it, because he's not the type of guy to. If you'd seen his fights, he's not the type of guy to gas in the second round.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes a certain fighter with bad cardio to gas in the second round. So I gotta wonder how much the layoff affected him. Good one for Root, though, man. This guy.
It's a good win. It's a great fight.
Yeah, this guy can't seem to go away. Like he was on the Ultimate Fighter, and no one thought anything of him. You know, he made it into WEC. He had a draw, or he got robbed by Leonard Garcia. You know, and no one really thought anything of him. He knocked out the Korean Zombie, and then then he got knocked out by like Mark Homnick. But he's always been like a mid to lower tier guy, but he's never been out of the UFC or anything like that. You know, He's never like he was in trouble in his last fight to getting kicked out, but he's managed to stay in the UFC. Good win for Root. Just fight more lower to mid tier guys, I suppose. Maybe Brian Caraway next would be pretty good. Or Root versus that Mexican fighter, the only one they have. Shoot, I forgot his name now. Eric Perez. Okay. And the final fight, Jeremy Stevens beat Esteban Payan in the bloodiest fight I've ever seen.
You're telling me!
Dude,
I think what was it? George Root versus Brian Bowles was the second fight in the card.
Yeah.
And the freaking canvas was a freaking just blood all over it.
Yeah, exactly. This was the fight that did it.
Was painted with blood. There we go.
That's what Jeremy Stevens did with Esteban Payan. It was an elbow that started off. Stevens looked good at featherweight. I was surprised. His wrestling and his striking looked good. He wasn't going in too recklessly. It was a good win for Stevens. I don't know if Payan's going to stay in the UFC, but, good one for Stevens. It's more lower to mid-tier guys of his division. So that's it for my post-fight analysis. Post-fight analysis for UFC 160. If you have any comments, just leave them below. Any final thoughts, my man?
No, just a freaking fun UFC fight, stacked from top to bottom. Just everything delivered.
Let me plug your podcast.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
You got a podcast.
Well, this is freaking YouTube, and we're kind of accustomed to it. But I got my freaking own comic book podcast for. I guess there's some crossover, I imagine, because I imagine what was that chick that they had do the freaking Ronda Rousey countdown special?
Blair. Is it Blair
Butler? There we go. So there's obviously a little crossover, maybe not a ton.
Yeah.
But
what's it called?
It's called Comic Conversations.
Comic Conversations.
Yeah, just do a freaking YouTube search, Comic Conversation, all one word. We got 2 episodes coming up. I think by tomorrow, our third episode will be up. So like I said, I don't think there's a huge crossover, but I really appreciate Chris putting me on the spot and forcing me to plug my show. But hey, you know what? I appreciate it. And, if there is some crossover, I mean, shoot, we got a lot in common then.
Nice, man. So yeah, that's pretty much for MMA for you. Thank you guys very much.